Hi, my name is Joel Saliman, and this is my father, Captain Norman Saliman, and he was killed in Vietnam in 1969. Well, technically he was injured with second and third degree burns over about 70% of his body in Vietnam, and then he died, of course, in Japan. I didn't really know him. I was only 5, and just because of the trauma and the different feelings I have about his death and his third tour, I just really have kept putting this off. I've been meaning to do this for a while. I actually got his records from Senator John McCain, and he was killed and they put it down as an accident, where I don't really know if that's, I believe that. He was in a MACV Team 91 in Vietnam, and MACV is the Special Operations Group. I'm not sure exactly what he did there, but he was infantry, enlisted, and he was a Mustang, and he went became an officer. He was also in Korea. He served from 1955 to when his death in 1969, and I've been trying to find people that were actually there that knew about what happened. The Army put it down as an accident, that his gas can exploded. So a little bit of history on that is that he was in charge, so he didn't have to be out there. What I heard from my mom was that the Viet Cong were firing into the base, and the village was in the way of the base, so, or the other side of the base, so the rounds were going into the village. So the chief asked them to move the base, and so he has been out burning tree stumps so they could relocate the base. He would send tapes home. I have some of the tapes and a lot of pictures and videos I haven't got to, just because of the the pain, basically. I don't know if any of you have ever seen Animal Kingdom, a great show, by the way, but there's a song, Deep Dark Hole, and it's kind of where I'm at. So a lot of it's been stuffed to try to be compartmentalized, but it still comes up, and I don't know if you can hear my voice, but it still brings me emotional even to this day, and it's been, of course, many years. But what I'm trying to do is locate the people that he served with, because they actually spent more time with my father than I did. But more importantly, his men believed that it was a booby trap. Basically what was happening was they were burning the sniper nest. So this is a nest where the Viet Cong would come and set up and shoot into the base. So I'm sure they weren't happy when they were burning it. Somebody that's been on his third tour was infantry, airborne, and 3 Bronze Stars, V for Valor. I understand that he pulled twice people out burning APCs, where he got 2 of the Bronze Stars, is what my understanding is. But basically what I'm going to be doing is going through all this paperwork here, the documentation, and seeing if anybody that watches this served with him. Possibly even the Vietnamese. I know some of it was training the Vietnamese Army regulars. So if you can like or share and follow these, this is going to be one of a few, because there's quite a bit to go through here. And I'm basically going to do page by page. So if you bear with me here, I'll go ahead and I guess you can say get started. Excuse me for a minute, I have to get my glasses. So this first page was March 12th, 1969. So he died right before I turned 5. Saliman Norman, Captain 03, Advanced Team 91, MACV APO, died from injuries received in the incident previously reported to you. You would think that there would be some type of investigation, some type of report when a commander of a base is killed. But I found some guy on a MACV website, and he was trying to say that you know, it was a straight accident, but he received burns while in base camp pouring gasoline on a grass area when the gasoline ignited. So to get 70% of your body covered in burns, it would have had to be a pretty big explosion. And once again, this is a man that was on his third tour, was combat infantry, is my understanding, before he went officer and even is officer. But anyway, an originator, something in Japan, so that was just in the hospital. This is another picture of him that was in the file. Official use only. Protective marking automatically removed. Saliman, Norman. 93rd Evac Hospital. 5th of March, 69. Seriously injured, first, second, and third degree burns to 70% of body at base camp pouring gasoline on grass to clear the area. So he didn't even have to be out there doing it. More importantly, it doesn't make sense to me that somebody with his experience would go, oh wow, the gas is going to explode on me. But it would be nice to actually talk to people that were there besides that one that was supposed to be a second in command that had just barely got there supposedly. Once again, I still don't believe it, but unless I can get somebody to corroborate it, then of course kind of stuck. This is just the Western Union about his being injured. Broke evac to 106 Hospital, Yokohama, Japan, 7th of March. So like I said, I was just transferring the command. My father's sense of humor is very similar to mine. I don't know if it was a letter or that somebody wrote for him or a recording, but he told my mom that when he got back, he's going to be the hottest lover in town. So kind of the man that he was. Vietnam to Japan again. So I don't know if this is going from the beginning to the end or the end to the beginning, but I guess it is. Received call, contacted concerning. I remember once again he was burning a sniper nest. I don't know about you, but if I was a sniper, I'd be pretty upset about it. And guess what snipers do? They snipe. And of course, booby traps and other things, but there's a Lieutenant Smith from 3A called, Chief of Staff at Fort Benning. Emily wife has been contacting them. Mother of officer called. DA report. Still Lieutenant Smith. I'm still trying to find out where. There has to be some type of report. It doesn't make any sense to me. (11th of March). I guess it was bilateral pneumonia. So yeah, if you could like, share, maybe even some of the Vietnamese that he worked with, and if I mentioned that earlier. Unclassified. Present health report, evacuate to continental United States is contemplated, but approximate time is undetermined due to his patient's unstable condition. So So he tried, he held in there for a long time, it looks like. I don't know, it's just frustrating for me that put the military and his career ahead of his family. Yeah, removed from the seriously ill and placed on the very seriously ill. Such severity. Second and third degree burns at 75% of his body. Bilateral pneumonia. So yeah, I'd really like to find out the men that were under his command that he was out helping, find out what really happened. So that's basically the, well, I've always meant to do this because I know very little about my dad, just because of the trauma. Luck. Secondary cause. Patient was pouring gasoline on trees when gas can blew up. 4th of March in Da Nang. I think I mentioned that the Bronze Stars that he got, he was actually pulling men out of burning APCs, so I don't know whether he was actually, or APVs, I don't know if he was actually with them. So yeah, I guess in 64 he was a E5. Accounting, 2.5 years of college, type of transfer discharge, Fort Bennings, to immediately re-enlist, June 64. Last duty assignment, Major Command, 702D Maintenance, 2nd Infantry Division, 3AA Company E. Honorable discharge, duty form. This is when he was becoming an officer. He was in Italy. That's where he met my mom. Well, actually, they were already married because this was in 64. Decoration, rifle, M1, 2nd award. So once again, this is the rise and death of Captain Norman Saliman in Vietnam in 1969. MACV 10 Team 91. What was he doing? Were they actually, because it is Special Operations Group out of Fort Benning is what the MACVs are. I don't know if he was training the Vietnamese soldiers, or he was a liaison, or they're actually running operations. I'm not really sure. I'm not sure if this will show up in here or not, but another thing that would be nice to know if I can find somebody. The same form. Yeah, E5 and 64 Army. USA Infantry School, Fort Benning, Georgia, which was where I was born, actually born in Fort Benning, in the hospital there. Prior re-enlistments 2. Yes, it was in 6 years, Fort Benning. USA Infantry School, November 64 to May 65. Infantry officer, GA&D, it looks like. lump sum payment was not paid for accrued leave. Such as filler paperwork. Yeah, I tried to get McCain to investigate it, because of course he has more access than I do, but all I got was his military records, and then I tried to contact the astronaut, the new guy, and I didn't even get anything from them. They just blew me off, so I'm not voting for him, that's for sure. Yeah, so he accepted a commission, so here we go. 22nd January 94. USA Infantry School, Fort Benning, to accept commission. So he got a commission from an E5 to an officer. And of course you can see the different medals right there. I went through to a timeline of where he was as I go through this. I'll be doing it all live, so I'm not really going to edit anything. Bronze Star Medal, 2nd Oak Leaf Cluster. Okay, so this was posthumously. So that would have been his 3rd. You get the Bronze Star, then the Oak Leaf, and then the 2nd Oak Leaf. This was the Notorious Achievement and Performance of Outstanding Services from 29th October 98 to March 469 while serving as Senior Advisor, Mobile Advisory Team 111-2, Advisory Team 91, United States Army Advisory Group 3 Corps, III Corps, Tactical Zone, United States Military Assistance Command, Vietnam. As a senior advisor, Captain Saliman displayed great perseverance, dedication to duty, and broad military knowledge in his efforts to improve the training and operational effectiveness of the units and its personnel, participating in numerous combat operations. So here it is, numerous combat operations. Once again, goes back to my same premise. 3rd Tour, infantry to officer, paratrooper, special operations, and is gas cans going to explode by accident? It doesn't sit with me at all, but I could be wrong. But the only way to know is to actually talk to the men that said that, yeah, it was a booby trap. But anyway. Moving forward, Captain Saliman was noted for the inspiration he provided to Vietnamese soldiers, so there are some Vietnamese soldiers out there. And I also saw some of the pictures and massive amount of slides that he did, that they did a lot of military or a lot of medical services for the where he was at. Also food and things like that. So anyway, I don't know. But I'm hoping to find out with some help from you guys. Once again, like, share, and subscribe, because this is one of, until I get through this, and then I can always play some of the tapes and read the letters and try to get the tapes. I have a lot of the pictures. The movies are a little bit harder to be able to process, but it's something I've wanted to do, but just the pain of going through it. She was taking me 2 weeks to do this, and I got this when Senator McCain was still alive and sent me this, so kind of see how difficult it is. Anyway, moving on. Noted for inspiration, he provided the Vietnamese soldiers and was instrumental in assisting them in successfully accomplishing their assigned mission. So they were going out and doing missions, so it was an active SAW group. His professionalism, sound judgment, and personal courage enabled him to establish an outstanding relationship with the Vietnamese, and as a result, his advice was often sought and readily accepted. His recommendations on improvement in training, maintenance, and combat operations resulted in an increased effectiveness throughout the unit. Through his untiring efforts and unselfishly giving of his time and energy, Captain Saliman was instrumental in improving the morale and living condition of the soldiers of 06 Tri-Tam District. Once again, he didn't have to be there. He was helping his men, and they killed him, and they put it down as an accident. And once again, I don't believe it. Captain Saliman's professional competence and outstanding achievements were in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Army and reflected great credit upon himself and the military service by direction of the President's second oak leaf cluster. Well, I think I'm going to stop it there. I'm going to go ahead and upload this to YouTube and different avenues, and then I will try to do another one tomorrow or the day after. Thank you.